This industry is just much more influential than we've ever seen it. They're raising some serious money and they're spending it too. I think what we're going to see is they're going to be a lot more involved on the House and Senate side, particularly this week. They have come out and said that they are endorsing Bernie Moreno in Ohio, Representative Ruben Gallego in Arizona, and Elisa Slotkin in Michigan.
Welcome to Reporter's Notebook, where we talk to the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the stories breaking on their beats. I'm Jim Antle, and I'm joined today by Congressional reporter Samantha-Jo Roth, SJ. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has a new book coming out. What's the topic?
Yeah, so he is writing about anti-Semitism in America, which isn't super surprising. The Senate Majority Leader is the highest-ranking Jewish elected official in the country. He loves to tout that. He loves to talk about that. And, he's given several speeches, particularly at the beginning of, I think it was right after the October 7th attack, where he talked about the growing anti-Semitism and how, people shouldn't just judge the people who are Jewish based on what is happening in Israel. So that should be an interesting book. It's coming out, I believe, February of 2025. Mm-hmm. And this is kind of up against the backdrop of some of his views against, Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, who he has, actively called on to step aside and let, Israelis elect a new Prime Minister. Mm-hmm. So, it's just an interesting place to be in history with anti-Semitism and his views on Israel.
Right. It's become an issue within the Democratic Party whether some of the progressive protests against Israel have veered into anti-Semitism, whether maybe some of the members, including from his own state, have toyed with some of these sentiments. And also Schumer himself has, after being generally regarded as a pretty pro-Israel senator, come under some criticism for whether he's as supportive as he used to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of that came when he criticized Benjamin Netanyahu. He's also, made some comments about the fatalities and the casualties that have been ongoing. And that's not, super rare. We're also seeing, Kamala Harris making similar comments. But, this is definitely an inflection point. A lot of Republicans, are trying to use this, saying, that Democrats are not as supportive of Israel. Whether that's true or not is an open question. I think, the Senate Majority Leader has to deal with, a group of people that have differing ideas. Mm-hmm. So he's, trying to cater to all of those people while also trying to hold fast on the anti-Semitism, comments too.
So cryptocurrency has become a really big issue in this campaign. You've written about the crypto industry getting involved with super PACs to sort of try to influence election outcomes. What's going on there?
Yeah, so this is really interesting. This industry is just much more influential than we've ever seen it. They're raising some serious money and they're spending it too. I think what we're going to see is they're going to be a lot more involved on the House and Senate side, particularly this week. They have come out and said that they are endorsing Bernie Moreno in Ohio, Representative Ruben Gallego in Arizona, and Elisa Slotkin in Michigan. Interesting because all of these different candidates, they're not necessarily Democrats or Republicans.
Sure.
It's just those who are most friendly to the industry. Mm-hmm. And what you'll see is a lot of these advertisements by these groups that are, cryptocurrency focused. These ads have nothing to do with cryptocurrency. I think they realize that the majority of Americans do not quite understand this industry. So they're going after common themes and, just putting ads out there that are in support or against the opponent that they want to lose. And they see this as a very critical election cycle to elect those who are, pro cryptocurrency. So we'll see what's going to happen, but I think that this is going to be one of the most influential industries in the country right now.
So you mentioned Bernie Moreno. The Senate GOP's campaign arm made a decision about his race. What was it?
Yeah, so they had a significant amount of money set aside for advertisements in Ohio, and they decided to pull out. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of different ways we could look at this. Some people, are seeing the race going a certain way. Sherrod Brown has been ahead in most of those polls.
Right.
So you could argue that side, but NRC is basically saying they felt that their money could be used elsewhere. In reality, they have to pay much higher fees for those advertisements, whereas a lot of these PACs and candidates, they are getting these spots for a lot cheaper. And you'll see, like in other battleground states, like I believe Montana and Nevada, they had not decided to invest in those states. Instead, they were letting those super PACs, particularly one that is aligned with Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, take the lead on those. So I think that's more of what you're going to see. It is a little jarring, though, to watch them pull out of that race, especially because this is really one of their number one battlegrounds that they're looking to win.
But they're saying this is really more about efficiency than a judgment about the competitiveness of the race?
Yes, that is what they are saying. They do not believe that this has anything to do with, whether they believe that they can win in Ohio or not. I think you'll talk to some folks, Democrats on the other side, who believe otherwise. But I think this is, they're saying they're using their strategy with their advertising dollars, and they think, that money could be spent elsewhere. That's basically the message of what they're telling us.
Thank you, SJ.
Thank you.
You can read Samantha-Jo and the rest of our political team's coverage at washingtonexaminer.com.